the Chairman, House Committee on Information, Honorable Maxima. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize the members on the State House of Assembly, Honorable Emmanuel Oshati, known as Maxima, the Chairman, House Committee on Information. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me go back now to Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji, ably represented by Honorable Olalade Begudu. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Honorable Barrister Rotimi Abitogun. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Honorable Muritala Sulaiman. I recognize you, sir. Honorable Allen Oluwatoyin. I recognize you. Honorable Moyolorun Ogunwumiju. I recognize you, and all the members of the Ondo State House of Assembly. I recognize you, sir. We have with us this day Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, known and addressed as Abena, Director Corporate Services of the Niger Delta Development Commission. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. May I also recognize the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sport in Ondo State, Honorable Saka Yusuf. Honorable. Hello. 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 I recognize the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Youth and Sport in Ondo State, Honorable Saka Yusuf Ogunleye. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize Baba Dr. Taiwo Malumi. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would also like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Agric and Forestry, High Chief Olaya Tuaribu. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We also have the Honorable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Alhaji Amidu Takuro. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would also like to recognize the presence of the May I also recognize the presence of Right Honorable Fatai Aburuma Kuolotu. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We have with us the members, Local Government Service Commission and their chairman, Honorable Femi Idris. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Honorable Alonga Dennis Neyi. I recognize you, sir. Honorable Mrs. Ronke Ojo. Mommy, I recognize you, ma. And from the Hospitals Management Board, I would like to recognize the chairman of the board, Dr. Taiwo Fashionoti. I recognize you, sir. I recognize Mrs. Ariola Adamolekun. I recognize Dr. Taiwo Adefunri and Dr. Rotimi Wilson. I recognize you all, sirs and mads. You are welcome. And all the board members in the house, Auntie Larry, I recognize you all. You are welcome. All the members of APC, I recognize you all, sirs and mads, because of our time. I would like to recognize specially all the chairmen, all the transition chairmen of local governments and LCDAs. I recognize you, sirs and mads. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Bossy. Please put your hands together for this wonderful lady. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome all of us once again to this epoch-making occasion where we're celebrating a great leader, a man who has made a great mark, talking of security, talking of peace of our great state. Not only our great state, in the southwest Nigeria, he has made his mark through the creation of Amotekun Corps, which has brought unprecedented peace to our region. His Excellency Arakunrin Odunayo Rotimi Akeredolu, the man we are celebrating today because of his laudable achievement. His Excellency the Governor of Ondo State is around. Ladies and gentlemen, immediately he makes his entry into the hall. We shall all rise to welcome the Governor to this occasion. Thank you.
I would like to recognize the presence of the former chairman of Osopadek, Honorable Sam Ereju. I recognize you, sir. Engineer Dele Olanubi, I recognize you. I use you as a point of respect to all the APC chieftains from Ondo West and East local government. The former Minister of State for Transport, Honorable Ademola Adegoroye, is hiding his face. Please let the protocols bring him to the middle seat. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Please, those of us sitting at the back, can we move forward to fill the front spaces, please? Please, let's move forward to fill the front seats. I recognize the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Ondo State, Dr. Olukayode Ajulo, SAN OON. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on Environment, Honorable Olayemi Adeyemi. I recognize you, sirs. You are welcome.
Shake.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to humbly welcome to our midst our guest speaker on this auspicious occasion, a rights activist, human rights crusader, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Femi Falana, SAN. You're welcome, sir. It's nice to see you, sir. It's nice to have you in our great state at this moment. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, is making his way into this hall. Shall we please rise to welcome His Excellency to this epoch-making occasion? Your Excellency, you're welcome, sir. Thank you very much for being part of this occasion, for celebrating a great leader, the man who has contributed immensely to peace, promotion of stability and development of our Sunshine State. Your Excellency, the Governor, you are welcome, sir. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Shall we take the national anthem, please?
Our flag
Shall we remain standing as I invite Pastor Ayoade Babalola to please lead us in a short opening prayer?
Shall we pray? Ever living Father, we bless you immensely for this wonderful day, the day that we are remembering our leader, our father, a man of courage, a man of strength, a man of capacity, the former governor of this state, Akeredolu. We bless you, we appreciate you for the life well spent, and we turn to you all the glory. Be exalted in the name of Lord Jesus. Thank you, Father, for the traveling mercies granted the special guest and the special speaker and all the people in the house. We appreciate our governor, Honorable Dr. Orimisan Lucky Ayedatiwa, for actually taking forward and organizing this. I will bless you for the knowledge that we imparted unto us today through the guest speaker. Almighty God, let heaven be open concerning everything that we do today, that your name alone be honored, O God, in the name of Lord Jesus. Thank you, ever living Father. We appreciate you, Holy Spirit. In Jesus' mighty name we are praying.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the living Jesus. Today is the day the Lord has made. We are glad and we are rejoicing in it. I welcome all of us on behalf of the Ondo State government to this epoch-making occasion, the Akeredolu Leadership Lecture Series, the first of its kind, in honor of the former governor of Ondo State, late Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SAN-CON. Once again, we are welcome. The topic of today's lecture is security sector reform in promoting peace, stability, and development, the Ondo State example. Ondo State has been adjudged as the most peaceful state in Nigeria, and we give God all the glory. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to us this day the Executive Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency, Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa. May I also recognize the presence of the Chief Judge of Ondo State, my Lord, Honorable Justice Odushola. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would also like to recognize the presence of the Speaker, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji, ably represented by Honorable Ololade Gbegudu. I recognize you, Honorable. You are welcome. Let me recognize the presence of my Lord, Honorable Justice Eunice Aderunke Alade, the President, Customary Court of Appeal. I recognize you, Mommy. You are welcome. I'll use my Lord, Honorable Adegboyega, Honorable Justice Adegboyega Adebusoye, as a point of respect to all the judges in the house. I recognize you, all my lords in the house. I recognize you. You are welcome, sirs and ma'ams. I would like to recognize the chairman of today's occasion, our Baba Bashorun Sende Arogbofa OFR. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We also have our guest speaker for today, a human rights activist, Femi Falana, SAN. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. On the front row, I would like to recognize the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Ondo State, Dr. Olukayode Ajulo, SAN-ON. I recognize you. In no particular order, let me recognize Baba, Dr. Taiwo Malumi. I recognize you, Daddy. You are welcome, sir. I would also like to recognize Honorable Abena Ifedayo Abegunde, known as and addressed as Abena, the Director, Corporate Services, Niger Delta Development Commission. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Another distinguished guest, because of our time, we have all earlier been recognized before the arrival of His Excellency. Just to save our time, I will recognize Obalugbenga Ajimokun Olaojo, Iralepo of Isikon, Kabiesio, and all my other royal fathers. You have all been recognized before now, so we can save our time. Members on the State House of Assembly, I recognize you. Members of the State Executive Council, I recognize you. All our heads
Hello
of
and welcome.
security agencies.
This is the outside broadcast of Osrc television, and we're live here at the Akeredolu Leadership Lecture Series organized by the Ondo State Government in honor of the former governor, late Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. It's happening live here at the International Culture and Event Center, the Dome. And dignitaries from all walks of life are right here in the on the ground to ensure that the memory and legacy of this great man, late Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, is not forgotten in a hurry. The focus, the topic of the lecture series, the first of its kind, is security sector reform in promoting peace, stability and development, the Ondo State example. And the guest speaker for this event is the legal luminary, Femi Falana, SAN. We would like you to enjoy this event, and we'll bring you updates as the event unfolds.
SAN, CON. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the podium for an opening remarks by Right Honorable Victor Adekonye Olabinton, the former Speaker on the State House of Assembly and current Chairman, Superb Ondo State. Thank you very much. You're welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the newest governor of Ondo State, by the grace of God, will be sworn in February 24 by the grace of God, and the man who is currently in the saddle and that everybody is enjoying in Ondo State. Your performance in the recently concluded election in Ondo State has proved all bookmakers wrong, that you are truly in charge and that you are the man of the moment. His Excellency, Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, the chairman of today's occasion, Baba wa Bashorun Seyinde Arugbofa, one of the pillars behind our governor, a founding father of modern Ondo State. You are welcome, sir. The lecturer of today, you are well known all over the world. You are a friend to Akeredolu. You are an SAN. You are a lawyer. You are a human rights activist. Femi Falana, SAN, you are highly recognized. I recognize the Chief Judge of Ondo State. You are welcome, sir. I want to specifically recognize Baba Malumi. Baba, I recognize you. And the representative of the speaker, Bebudu, I recognize you. For the Abena, for the people, you are highly recognized. And that is a man on the board of the NDDC, who is the director there, and he's doing very well. We commend you and we are happy. The member House of Rep, representing our federal constituency, my friend Adiligbi, I recognize you. The Chief of Staff, the Head of Service, all other protocols duly observed. We are here today for the first in the series of the lectures that Mr. Governor has decided to dedicate to his mentor, his leader, and the man on many occasions while alive made it abundantly clear that this is my successor. And he has instituted this lecture series in his honor. And the first of this lecture series is holding today. And by the grace of God, from what we have seen here, it is a success story. And it's not just starting here. This morning at about 11 a.m. at the new judiciary complex that has just been, whose foundation has just been laid, the executive governor of Ondo State, Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, has named the complex after Akeredolu Oluwarotimi Odunayo Judiciary Complex. Can we have a round of applause for our governor? You see, people talk to me, people tell me a lot of stories. This governor is rubbishing Akeredolu's legacies. I have not seen one. Rather, he has been promoting all the legacies of Akeredolu. And those of us who are conversant, we know that Akeredolu is the initiator of that judiciary complex. And that is one of his legacies. And if this man is keeping the flag flying, I think he should be commended rather than castigated. Yes. When somebody is doing very something, Amotekun is being strengthened under him. When Akeredolu was alive, there was peace in Ondo State. And that peace is being maintained by the man who succeeded him, which means Akeredolu himself. He has seen everything and he has prophesied, and it is happening in our time. Should we not be happy? Should we not give thanks to God? We should give thanks to God. Therefore, I want to join us. This government is going to promote all the legacies of Akeredolu. All the works that Akeredolu started, this governor is completing all of them. In fact, this governor has not even initiated any of his own programs and policies. All he has been doing is to ensure that the programs and policies of his predecessor are completed. And by the grace of God, he's going to complete. And by the time he takes over the saddle of leadership again, come February 24, he will move into action to launch his own legacies. Because he will also have his own legacy. Legacy here. Therefore, we are beginning today the series of lecture which the governor has christened Akeredolu Leadership Lecture Series. It's not something that is going to be, it may not be annual. It may be twice in a year that this will be done in honor of Akeredolu. When the governor became governor, the NBA, they had their conference in Lagos, and the governor was invited. And the lecture he delivered was about state police. And he delivered the lecture superbly. And with that, you can know that this man is not rubbishing any legacy. Rather, he's making sure that the legacies are known to people and that they are protected and well guided. Therefore, today's lecture to be delivered by no less a person than that human rights activist that is known worldwide is about security sector reform in promoting peace, stability, and development. The Ondo State example. I am sure the lecturer, we all know his onion. We know him very well. He would do justice to it. And I want to implore all of us that are here that we should listen attentively. And allow the lecturer to deliver this superb lecture in honor of our dear leader, Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Ọdúnayọ̀ Akeredolu, SAN, CON, a man of indefatigable character, a man of courage, Mr. Talk and Do, a man when he says yes, it is yes, and when he says no, it is no. He bear no grudge towards anybody. He's a free mind. He has a free mind towards everybody. If some people cultivate whatever they have cultivated, it's their own. It's not for Akeredolu. And he will tell them, mo ti ṣe tèmi o, mo ti sọ o, tí o bá dẹ̀ tẹ́yìn lọ́rùn ẹ̀yin lẹ́mọ̀ o, ó kù ẹ̀yin ó kù Ọlọ́run o. And that is the man. Therefore, I have before the lecturer would deliver the lecture, I have the honor to ask the compere to come and then tell us what we do next before the lecturer will do justice to the lecture. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. God bless you too. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring now to the podium an elder statesman, an Afenifere leader, the past Secretary General of Afenifere, a man who has inspired a new generation of intellectuals through his literary work, a distinguished patriot, a great Nigerian, our Baba in Ondo State, Bashorun Sende Arugbofa. Please let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for OFR, for the chairman of today's occasion, as he comes to the podium to make his remarks. Please, we can do better. Let's appreciate him. We can do better.
Your Excellency, the Chief Justice of the State, my dear brother, the guest speaker of the day, Femi, our royal fathers, please permit me to stop on this note because I'm not a man of ceremonies and I don't want to offend people on a very important ceremony of this time. I hope you wouldn't mind me if I say I would love us to start on this note. Shall we all please stand up and observe a moment of deep silence, serious one, in memory of our late governor. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Please be seated. This is the chairman's opening remarks on this important day. I like keeping hopes alive, even when things are terribly bad. I'm still a hardened optimist. And so I start very briefly on our experiences about 10 years ago in Abuja. Since the kidnapping and abduction of the Chibok girls some 10 years ago, where we were at the confab, security of life and property has been on the front burner of governance in Nigeria. It came at the heels of our earlier determined resolve to press home the issue of state police under our own leadership in the Southwest, Papa R.F. Fashoranti. Under whose umbrella, those of us immediately concerned attended the national conference. The Chibok event gave credence to our conviction, and we immediately swung into action, culminating in the consensus decision for Nigeria to establish the state police. Ever since the Chibok girl episode, hope has been kept alive for security to come back, because since then, the breakdown of peace, instability, hunger in the land have been the order of the day. In fact, we can't dissociate the recent Ibadan, Abuja, Okija food stampede from the horrible event of kidnapping which had driven our farmers from their farm. Unfortunately, the Buhari government did nothing after our state police recommendation. And when all hopes appeared lost, President Bola Tinubu set in motion the necessary machinery for the creation of state police to tackle insecurity, to promote peace, stability, and development in the nation. Yet, before Tinubu, Governor Akeredolu had led all forces against the federal might to establish a Motekun, our home-based security network, to provide peace. With his death, we thought all was lost. But his successor, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, came to sustain the system. We thank you. God has a way of restoring hope. Like after the death of Chief Gani Fawemi, God left Chief Femi Falana behind to restore hope in the masses. Vast senior advocate of the masses, SAM, Gani Fawemi, was my friend and classmate in Bishop College, Ikare. He fought for the masses until his death. When he died, we thought all hopes were lost. But like Aiyedatiwa was doing in Odo State, Falana came and kept hope alive for the masses. Femi, you are welcome. But before I vacate the stage for you, Femi, there is this lesson on leadership I bring to all of us here present this morning. This was the lesson I carried to Lafia in Nasarawa State. It is that everyone is a leader, whatever your status. Mr. Governor, I was some 6 or 7 years ago the pioneer pro-chancellor and chairman governing council, Federal University Lafia. There, all I had learned as member, Futa Town town gown member. I transported. On one occasion, I had to preside over a convocation lecture on leadership. And I made this point that everybody is a leader over whatever he presides upon. So, since every one of us present, whatever you are, whether you're a cleaner, a driver, a housewife, a personal secretary, or even a permanent secretary, or whatever you are, you preside over something. So you must be prepared to listen to Shefalani as he tells us more on leadership. The only difference, though, between of you and Mr. Governor, however, is that what our renowned activists may be going to discuss with you is a more serious leadership challenge. The role of leaders in times of emergencies and crisis. The type our former governor stood for. I appreciate our governor for organizing this lecture, being the first of his type. And I see it coming from someone with a large heart. Please clap for us. You see, in Nigeria, we like the culture of respect to our leaders, to those who are succeeding, to our rulers, to those who are above us, one way or the other. We don't respect them. We don't celebrate them. Mr. Governor, for doing this, we are really very, very grateful. It shows to have a large heart. This is the first time ever, at least to my knowledge, an assessment test is being publicly and officially done on any state governor of Ondo State. And I mean this. And it's a challenge to most of us, even me inclusive. I've written a lot about some of our leaders, like Papa Ajashi. But we are still to see the kind of legacy of this type organized by the state government on its behalf. Incumbent governors henceforth know that their services to the state will be officially put to test and evaluated after leaving office, and so should strive to leave a worthy legacy behind, not a matter of just passing through. There's a difference between the man on the spot and the person just passes through. If you pass through, it means you don't allow anything to cling onto you. You just pass through like that, gradually move on like that, without leaving any remarkable legacy behind. Henceforth, I think whoever has the opportunity to govern this state will take a cue from this and learn that any time, and it will surely come, when he leaves office, there are some people who will stay behind to assess whatever is not done. Indeed, His Excellency Akeredolu was governor when security was at its peak in Nigeria, especially in Southwest, and in particular Ondo State, when peace, stability, and development were seriously threatened. Akeredolu caught the bull by the horn. Ladies and gentlemen, real life is legacy. For no one born of women is an angel, and he was not. But in this respect, he has left behind a fantastic legacy. I'm not here to tell you how he did it. My assignment is to preside over what Shefalana has to say. and also to provide the right atmosphere for you to listen and later react. You are welcome.
Please, a round of applause for Baba Sende Arugbofa OFR, an elder statesman and author. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. May God continue to strengthen you. Thank you. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Thank you very much, sir. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we take the next item on the program, a quick recognition of the following dignitaries in our midst. I have the honor to recognize the former Deputy Governor of our great state, His Excellency Alhaji Lasisi Oluboyo. Your Excellency, you are welcome, sir. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion. Of course, the first female speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly is in our midst. Right Honorable Jumoke Akindele is here with us. You are welcome, man. Thank you very much. Also, the Commandant Amotekun Corps Ondo State, Akogun Adetunji Adeleye, is also here with us. You are welcome. Thank you very much. Of course, the former Chief Justice of Ondo State, Honorable Justice Olasende Kumi, is also here with us. You are welcome, my Lord. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Baba Sende Arugbofa, we thank God for your life, sir. At over 85, you are not using glasses to read. Why I cannot read this thing without using glasses? It's a special grace of God. We thank God for your life, sir. May God continue to strengthen you. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we invite our guest speaker to the podium, I want to humbly invite the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, SCN, ON, to please step forward and read the citation on our guest speaker. A round of applause for the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him as he makes his way to the podium. Dr. Kayode Ajulo. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellencies, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have been called to read the citation of our revered Femi Falana, SAN, but I made a mistake by asking him for that citation, and he quickly warned me not to read any citation. And in doing that, he narrated what happened between him and Wole Soyinka. So, and in that same mode, our guest lecturer today is well known to all, and his name is Femi Falana. Ladies and gentlemen, his citation is simply Femi Falana. You are invited, please.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State and the incoming Governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Orimisun Ayedatiwa. In the words of Aketi, Ayeti Datiel. Our Papa, the Chairman of the occasion, Basharun Sende Arugbofa. I'm not as lucky, sir, that as an octogenarian, you could read without your glasses. May God continue to preserve you and keep you around for us for a long, long time, sir. My Lord, the Chief Judge of Ondo State, my Lord, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal,
our royal fathers, I must not fail to recognize one of the leaders of the state who left the state on Sunday, a few days ago, 3 days ago. And when he told me this morning that he will be coming, I said, for what, sir? You just left Ondo State. He said, I'm coming from Lagos to Ondo State to Akure to listen to you. Dr. Taiwo Malum, thank you very much, sir. Our royal fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be in your midst on this occasion. While I haven't accepted the invitation to be here, I was disturbed to read that the Akeredolu family was dissociating itself from this all-important program. I cannot pretend not to have read some statement along that line. But Your Excellency, I'm going to challenge you and all the leaders here that everything must be done to reach out to the family so that when we are having this celebration next year, we are going to have only one united celebration in honor of the late Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and I became close when he served as the publicity secretary of the Nigerian Bar Association under my boss, the late Alao Akabashon in Lagos. We worked together in mobilizing young lawyers to make the Nigerian Bar Association relevant in the scheme of things. During the pro-democracy struggle, we met again at the barricades as Oluwarotimi Akeredolu stood to defend all the victims of military dictatorship from the Ibadan end. Even though he was a liberal lawyer, he collaborated with the socialist group in Oyo State, led by the late Comrade Olaoni, in expanding the democratic space. Aketi provided pro bono publico services to the poor and the disadvantaged people in our society. Whenever Aketi was in Lagos, we usually met at a place many of you may guess. That is Kalakuta Republic. Aketi, through the late Kwame Shola Oshobu, was very close to the Afrobeat Mistro. Even though he was a member of the choir of his church, he mastered Fela songs and could sing any of them on any occasion. As a man of many parts, Aketi was appointed the Chancellor of the Cathedral of St. Andrew's Church, Owo, Ondo State, by the church. He sang church hymns and other gospel songs. As a Kegite, Aketi participated in many nights of endless dancing and gyration. Aketi was exceptionally courageous in legal practice. At the risk of contempt of court, Aketi confronted judges frontally when he believed they were not doing the right thing. On many occasions, I will pull his gown, Otito now, But Aketi will go on and on and on until he had made his point. As a dogged civil rights advocate, Aketi challenged the serial infringement of the rights of our people. It is on record that the NBA contributed immensely when he was the president to the progress of the Pan-African Lawyers Union and the West African Bar Association. I was privileged to be the president of the West African Bar Association 2004 to 2009. On one occasion, we had a meeting in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, and we had a get-together in the night. The musician that was to perform breached the contract and failed to show up. Since the stage was already set, Aketi picked up the microphone and said, "Femi, join me." And for about 3 hours, we were able to entertain the audience. Aketi sang all Fela's songs that you can remember. On another occasion, and I want to say this, in spite of our closeness, when Aketi became governor, unknown to many of you, you know he was very stubborn. So I think I'm also a bit stubborn. And so we had moments of profound disagreement. And one of those occasions had to do with the increase of tuition fees in tertiary institutions. I tried in vain to convince Aketi to intervene and cancel the fees in order to save the education of indigent students. Not unexpectedly, the students protested against the hike in tuition fees, and some of their leaders were arrested. Of course, I publicly condemned the arrest and decided to defend the students. As soon as the students regained their liberty, some Aketi's aides informed him that I was behind the student protest. He dismissed the baseless allegation and made it clear to them, and I quote him, "Femi cannot be on the side of the government because of his belief in free education." End of quote. On another occasion, we disagreed over the ultimatum given to elders on government forest reserve to register with the state government or quit within 7 days. I called him and I pleaded with him to extend the deadline. Aketi said, "Femi, if you want to go to call for the elder, I'm not going to extend the deadline." I opined that the presidential intervention, again to my embarrassment, Abuja intervened and called Aketi names. At that stage, I was forced to intervene on behalf of Aketi. And on that occasion, I refer Aketi to section 42, subsection 1, subsection E of the forestry law of Ondo State, which provides that whoever in any forest reserve, except with the authority of the government, turns or cultivates the soil or makes a farm or plantation, he will be deemed to have committed trespass, and he can be charged to court and jail. A few weeks later, the dispute was resolved by Abuja in favor of Aketi, as the federal government turned around to charge all governors in Nigeria to put in place processes and mechanisms that were hitherto operational for maintaining sustainably managed forests, as all forests in the country belong to state governments. The federal government made the U-turn against the continued resort by bandits to using Nigeria's numerous forests reserved as safe havens. As Aketi was not satisfied with such concession, he embarked on a campaign for state police. At that time, it was an anathema to talk of state police. But Aketi did. And when the Attorney General of the Federation, then Malami, came out to say that any talk about Amotekun was illegal and unconstitutional because defense is in the exclusive legislative list, I was compelled to come out to challenge Malami on the ground that in Borno State, you have the civilian JTF, which does not only operate to save the people, that body is armed to the teeth. At that stage, Aketi called me. Femi Moka statement here, please keep it up. And I said, Aketi Kotomba, you have to go on. Convince your colleagues and ensure that you have the Amotekun in Nigeria. Aketi, of course, as you are all aware, they are the federal government. And with his colleagues, they announced the formation of Amotekun. Aketi, it was the first governor to enact a law to legitimize the Amotekun security network. It is therefore not surprising that today Ondo State remains the most peaceful state in Nigeria. While we thank the late Aketi, we also must acknowledge the efforts of the current governor of the state to keep up the struggle. Please keep up your good work. But permit me to say that today Ondo State has become a reference point when it comes to political stability and peace in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I was in the Niger Delta region about 3 days ago, and I was discussing with a governor who was having problems with security. And I said, go to Ondo State now and find out how Amotekun has succeeded. And he said, my brother, I can assure you, I will do so without wasting of time. Aketi actually had wanted to take the battle to a higher level. So last year he called me. Yes, early last year, Femi. Our Amotekun are operating in danger. So what do you mean? At best, they are armed with den guns and they are facing people who are armed with AK-47, pump action, and other dangerous weapons. And I said, what do we do, Aketi? He said, that's why he has called me. I said, well, I think we should go to court. He said, why? How? I said, well, Aketi, some individuals in the country are permitted under the Firearms Act to bear weapons. I'm sure you know. Some individuals are permitted to bear arms to protect themselves and their family members. So what should stop you, Aketi, from arming the operatives of Amoteku to defend about 5 million people in Ondo State? Say, Femi, ọ̀rọ̀ ló sọ yẹn o. We're still discussing the case when unfortunately Aketi took ill. But I want to say on this occasion, sir, the greatest tribute that has been paid to Aketi since he passed on to eternity has come from unexpected quarters. The president and all the 36 state governors in Nigeria recently met and approved state police in Nigeria. That was Aketi's dream, that the federal government and all the state governments in Nigeria have now accepted as a reality. Again, as I always tell people, I come from Ekiti State. They call it the fountain of knowledge. I was once in Ondo State when I think it was Governor Mimiko who had to honor 10 National Merit Award winners from this state. And on that occasion, I said I was in the real fountain of knowledge, because no state in Nigeria has produced 10 National Merit Award winners, except Ondo State. So once again, Ondo State has done it by exporting to the federal government, to the entire country, the Amotekun phenomenon. Here, I have disagreement with many people with respect to security. Whenever we talk about security in Nigeria, we only talk about physical security, ability to travel without harassment by headers, or people call herdsmen, no to armed robbery, and of course banditry and the rest of them. But I wish to submit on this occasion that there's no way our country can have security without social security. And what do I mean? If we do not confront unemployment of our young people, if we do not confront poverty in our country, there's no amount of physical security that can guarantee peace, law, and order. The chair, Bashorun Arugbofa, referred to the unfortunate incident in Ibadan where 5 children were killed. In Abuja, 10 were killed. In Okija, it was 12, now 22. Before then, we had 7 people who were killed in Lagos when they were trying to buy rice at 10,000 naira per bag. Special dispensation by custom. 7 people were killed. In Sokoto, 9 were killed. In Bauchi, 7 were killed. In Port Harcourt, 30 were killed. So in the last 2 years, we have lost about 115 people. But what have we done? We have been blaming the wrong people, including those who organized the distribution of rice and other food items to help the poor. All manners of blame have gone to the organizers. All Nigerians are very impatient. I want to say on this occasion that the blame should go to the Nigerian police force. Out of sheer hypocrisy, the Nigerian police force claims that it is investigating the circumstances that led to the death. How? Multiple deaths. What are you investigating? Haven't abdicated your responsibility. What are you investigating? For those who travel here, in many countries, including London that they all go to, if there is any noise in a house that disturbs the neighbors, the police will turn up, because a neighbor will have called the police. If a few people gather on the street in a tumultuous manner, the police will come. In our own country, under Section 83, subsection 4 of the Police Establishment Act 2020, sir, if there is a rally, a public meeting, or procession, and the police force is aware, the police shall provide adequate security for the people. So it was failure of security that led to the loss of 115 people in 2 years. So we are blaming, oh, it was caused by poverty. No. You are bound together like this. It's normal. Traditional meetings, political meetings, even protests. The law is now saying, during protest, thou shalt provide security. We fought for the law. What do you do now? So that, and we tell government, so that hoodlums, so-called hoodlums, will not break into protest and cause mayhem. Thou shalt provide adequate security. What happened the last time? 2 state governments, I think Ogun and Lagos, went to get nocturnal orders. Thou shalt not protest. If you are going to protest, go to Ojota alone. Others say, no, thou shalt not protest at all. People must protest. It is the management of protest and public meetings that is the problem in our country. I am therefore suggesting, because we are operating a capitalist system, somebody must bear responsibility for any damage or tragedy. The federal government must pay compensation to the families of those who lost their life because of the failure, the derelict of the Nigerian police force. Your Excellency, please, the National Economic Council must, more than ever before, assist the Nigerian people to fight poverty. And we can only do that if you are prepared, sir, to compel the federal government to dump the neoliberal policies of the IMF and World Bank that are being implemented in our country. Sir, we have passed through the route before, this dangerous route, when the Ibrahim Babangida military junta imposed structural adjustment program on the country. And they told us then that we shall smile at the end of the day. It's over 40 years now. Kakakewe agbonde koko konin lesi. So if the government has adopted 2 policies, removal of subsidies, floating of the naira, devaluation of the currency, no, they haven't worked anywhere in the world, and they won't work in Nigeria. So the government must be persuaded to review these programs and enter into meaningful dialogue with the Nigerian people, Because if we want to have security in our country, young people must go to school. Young people must be gainfully employed. When I came in now, the Honorable Commissioner of Education was introduced to me. And I said, Honorable Commissioner, are you up to date? And, of course, in collecting money from TED Fund, UBEC, to educate our children. 20.2 million Nigerian children are roaming the streets. Because today, 135 billion naira has not been collected by state government. And the Honorable Commissioner told me, sir, we are up to date, up to 2024. I commend Ondo State government for that. So when I get back to Lagos, I'm going to remove your name because we have sued all the 36 state governments. Yes. For not collecting, for not paying counterpart fund to collect money. About 135 billion is lying fallow now. So when our children join protest, they should be in school. When our children are mobilized by terrorists, whereas they should be in school. I'm not talking of the children of the elite. I'm talking of the children of the poor. I was just reading now that the federal government has set aside 100 billion naira for school feeding this year. Beautiful. In 2019, sir, and we are going to make this suggestion to Your Excellency, the federal government, to Your Excellency. In 2019, when the federal government was paying the London Paris Club refund, we said, please, deduct 72 billion that state governments have refused to pay to collect money from UBEC. And the federal government did. Sir, in November, the country was to have distributed 3.3 trillion naira. But because of inflation, only 1.7 trillion was distributed. The remaining 1.6 trillion, please, I'm going to suggest that 135 billion be taken from there to make the states, all the remaining states that have not collected money from UBEC, to be able to do so, so that we can fight child illiteracy in our country. On the currency, this is very relevant. It's the most important aspect of my paper, which I'll make available, sir. We shouldn't have a problem. Last year, Nigeria spent some of these things I'm talking about, you can Google. $22.6 billion to import goods from China. America, that is harassing us, where you have the IMF and World Bank, only about 6 billion goods came from the US. And where am I going? 6 years ago, the Chinese government and the Nigerian government sat down to have currency swap. Whatever you are buying there, pay naira. Whatever we are doing here, we shall do it in yuan. The IMF and World Bank have made it impossible for the central bank to allow the swap. Your Excellency, the National Economic Council must put down its feet. So when the president recently came from China, the agreement, 5-year agreement, expired last year. It's been renewed now. So we should now be talking of currency swap. And that is the essence of BRICS. Those countries that have come together, they were going to fight the dominance of the dollar. And unless we do that, sir, our country will continue to be in perpetual debt. The last one here, sir. In September this year, NEITI, a government agency, National Extractive Transparency Agency, came out a few oil companies and gas companies are owing the country $6.1 billion and 64 billion naira. 2 months later, no, a month later, the president went to the National Assembly to take a loan of $2.1 billion to fund the 2025 budget. No, sir. You must help us to ask NAITI, EFCC, assist NAITI to collect this money so that these external debts that we are piling up will stop. Now for Ondo State, Your Excellency, you must take advantage of what I call cocoa boom now. Cocoa boom. This state is the leading cocoa producing state in Nigeria, Ondo State. So when they say Nigeria is about the third, we're about fifth now, they are talking of this state. I'm happy that the state government is helping cocoa farmer. You must do more, Your Excellency. And instead of sending cocoa beans abroad, I beg Your Excellency, encourage more indigenous and investors to set up factories to produce Bonvita, chocolate, and the rest, so that we can export, as opposed to exporting cocoa bean. It's very primitive. Our fathers were doing that 500 years ago. How can we continue with that? So, once we can do that, sir, you create jobs, there will be more money in the kitty to take care of our people. And so when we are talking of physical security, we'll also be talking of social security. Recently, a place was found in Abuja where one individual was building 753 houses. 753. I'm on this because Section 16 of the Constitution provides that there shall be adequate shelter for Nigerians. Adequate shelter. And I'm suggesting that the federal government must ask Federal Mortgage Bank to take over those properties, complete them, and sell them to the Nigerian people. Your Excellency, I'm suggesting to your government to tidy up, and ensure that our people registered with the National Health Insurance Scheme Authority. The whole idea is to take care of the people. I mean, recently, a member of my family had a baby in the UK. And I said, oh, congratulations. How much did you pay for the delivery? He said, Dad, I didn't pay a dime. I said, what do you mean? He said, the NHIS works here. We have such a law, it must work in Nigeria. Another one, sir. All physically challenged people in Nigeria, by law, are entitled to free education and free health in all public hospitals. Free education up to senior secondary school. All our children, free education up to junior secondary school. So the first 9 years, all our children are entitled to free education. And Ondo State must take the lead. You have done well in the area of physical security. Now is the area of social security. That you must help our people. Everybody must have a house on his head. That is what the Constitution is saying. There is also in Abuja now a law for old people, sir. Once you are 70, that's what they call Senior Citizens Act. It provides and has mandated the government to take care of old people 70 and above. We must have such laws here. I mean, such a law to take care of our old people, to take care of physically challenged people, to take care of the needy in our society. Except we do this, we can clap for ourselves that Amotekun is working. But if at the end of the day, young people have no employment, they will go and join criminal gangs. I know it's difficult here. I think our young people, there's a lot of, they are totally misled. I know the government has had problem getting our young people to learn some trade. Everybody wants to be a contractor. We must change the orientation through the type of education. Because in Lagos now, even here, the elite, we import people from Cotonou, Togo, Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, to come and lay tiles in our homes and POPs. Because according to us, our own people cannot do those things. Because you know here, because I had to ask them, how? They said we spent about 5 years in the technical college. But here, you send somebody to learn a trade. After 6 months, he's doing his freedom. Freedom to ignorance. What kind of freedom? So please, let us reorganize our educational system. Your Excellency, I've taken sufficient time. What I'm therefore going to conclude with is that the Akeredolu example is for all of us. No matter how you live, how long you live, there will be a day that you are going to account. Not only to the Almighty God, to the people here. What we are doing today is to honor principle, to honor commitment, to honor consistency of Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. I think for each and every one of us, it is a challenge that even while you are still around, be known for some principle. Akeredolu never wavered. You could predict where he will be on any issue. And that should be with all of us. He was one of those governors who would never pretend. You may not agree with him, but he will make his own point. And that was what he did. As a member of the ruling party, I was here to give a talk. I think it's a 3rd year anniversary. And when I finished, he said, Femi, God sparing my life. If I have a second time, Lord Olodumare, Abuja will know that there's a governor in Ondo State. And indeed, Abuja knew there was a governor. The villa went haywire. The villa was in a money mood. When Akeredolu narrowly, it was a 4-3 narrow point in the Supreme Court. 4 justices for him, 3 against him. The villa people had thought it would be the other way around, even though the same party. But they felt this man is too dangerous for us. So when I call Akeredolu to congratulate, I say, you know, Ọlọ́run ló yọ mí, ó fẹ́ mi. I said, I know. I want to be a you know. I said, but now you are there, you are back. I want to act back this time. And that was what we did with Amotekun. I want to act back. But Nigeria ti gbà lónìí. Your Excellency, the challenge before you is the continuity of Aketi's pro-people's policies. And I want to plead with you. Don't run a government of contractors. Run a government of the people. Let our people benefit maximally from your government. Let the people benefit maximally from your government. Because our country has no business with poverty. We have wealth in abundance. And Ondo State is one of the richest states in Nigeria in terms of human and material resources. Your duty, sir, is how to husband them to the betterment of our people. I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Please, we can do better. We can do better. We appreciate you, sir. A distinguished legal practitioner and human rights activist. God bless you so very much, sir. Your Excellencies, All other parts of the protocols are respectfully observed. Let me recognize the presence of the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Dr. Olaide Olabiade Lamiemenai. I recognize you, sir. Before we bring back the chairman of today's occasion for his remarks on the lecture, let me quickly run through some names of our distinguished guests. I would like to recognize Right Honorable Prince Abayomi Akinrutan, the Deputy Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. We also have Honorable Princess Tosi Ogulowo Ajirotutu, the Deputy Majority Leader, Ondo State House of Assembly. I would also like to recognize the members of the APC State Working Committee, the Deputy State Chairman, Mr. Atili Koto Agabra. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. The State Organizing Secretary, Sir Charles Fagbonka. I recognize you. The Vice Chairman, Central Senatorial District, Honorable Festus Aregbeshola. I recognize you. The State Youth Leader, Mr. Lekwan Adeyemo. I recognize you. I would also like to recognize the presence of Pastor Femi Agagu, the former Commissioner for Education in Ondo State and an APC shifting from the Southern Senatorial District. Honorable Sam Ereju, I recognize you. Engineer Dele Olanubi, I recognize you. Baba Alhaji Jamiu Ekungba, I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Right Honorable Malaki Koka, I recognize you. Honorable Favor Tomomewu, I recognize you, ma'am. You are welcome. The Majority Leader, Ondo State House of Assembly, Honorable Ogumola Shuyi Oluwole Emmanuel, I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Pa Olale Akinyeke, I'll use Pa as a point of respect to all the commissioners in the Civil Service Commission. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Mama Mrs. Tola Awo, former Commissioner for Information and Orientation. Chief Tola Wewe, former Commissioner for Culture and Tourism. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Mrs. Mosu Odukale, Senatorial Women Leader from the South. Then the National Association of Ondo State Students, NAOS. Up Ondo State students. Great Ondo State students. Comrade Oyelade Ahmed, I use it as a point of respect to all the members of the executive. We also have in our midst the chairman of APC in Ondo State, Engineer Ade Timeyi. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize Comrade Ademola Odudu, the chairman of NURTW Up National. We also have Ritian Up Road. I recognize you. Nolge, Total Quality. I recognize you, sir. You are all welcome. Honorable Goyega Adefarati, I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Honorable Adegbomire, I recognize you as well, sir. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker has delivered his lecture, and I want to humbly invite the chairman of the occasion, Basharun Sende Arugbofa, to respond to the lecture. But I don't want to bring Baba to the podium once again because I want the cameras. Please let the camera be. Baba, you may be seated there so that the camera can be on you. Everybody will see you in the hall, sir. So we don't want to bring it to the another man.
I think I prefer to stay here, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, our KBAC, respected audience, today, from my own point of view, is a great day for this state. Especially under the influence in which we are celebrating. We've listened, we have heard, and I thank you all for silence and taking note of what I mentioned to you, that we all have to learn, living as leaders in our various capacities. If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Governor, I would still like all of us to still stand up and give Chief Femi Falana a standing ovation. Shall we do that for him? I'm not worried. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is my presumption, not assumption, that we all listened attentively and have learned from him. I too have learned from him because I'm a student, always learning. And what I think we still need to do at this period is not another round of lecture or debate, but a few remarks, a few people to talk about what we might add to what he has said to make this state move forward. I've always seen Ondo State as a lucky state. We have everything to make us go. Is it the people? Is it the materials? Is it what? Mr. Falana, thanks a lot. Possibly. But I wouldn't behave the way our Attorney General did, where he was introducing Mr. Falana. I would still like to give the audience, a few of you, to contribute to the lecture, and maybe add more to how we can improve in this state. I'll just take one from each row. Not another lecture, because if you are going to give another lecture, we stop. Just come, tell us your name, make a contribution, because you may still have to react. So over to you, somebody from this side. Okay. Hi. The first person to raise up the hand is a woman, but I think there's a row there. One from that. One. Can you help me make the selection?
From the other side there. Oh, okay. Mrs. Oshadown.
Just 1 minute, please.
1 minute. Oh. Okay. Honorable Arishi, right? Okay. That's number 2. I will bring you now. 2.
Please,
3.
Let's be seated. Let's be seated.
There's another one there. Somebody there. 3.
Okay.
And somebody there. 4.
Thank you.
Let's start from here. Mr. Shutdown. 1 minute. Mention your name and just go straight to your contribution or your whatever you want to say.
This, Your Excellency, and the distinguished guest speaker, my brother. I have this question, and it bothers me a lot as a woman. Why and what can be done? Why are Nigerians committing crimes with impunity? Why is the federal government not bothered? In intergovernmental relations, Ondo State cannot stand alone as an island. There are people who are coming from other states, even to commit crimes in Ondo State. And I believe it is a legal obligation of the government to protect the citizens. People rape with impunity. People abduct. In fact, Nigerians have lost count. What can be done? Because if Ondo State is safe, and people around Ondo State are not safe, and they still commit crimes, how will Ondo State be safe? What can be done? Is the federal government not aware? The Shibok was said, and so many rituals. In fact, hardly do you have virgin ladies now around, because the target of rituals list are the virgin ladies around. Children and so on. Terrorists everywhere. What can be done? And I believe the government should be able to save, not Ondo State. Ondo State at least. We give kudos. We thank His Excellency for this lecture. And we appreciate the former governor also. But at least, the list is too long to start alighting here. And the future, for the future, before Nigeria becomes a state that is not even safe for anybody, what can be done? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Please, for good quality picture, we want to, anybody that wants to speak will come up here, because I'll be told, please come up here, because to have a good coverage, please. Please, don't worry, please. One camera, you know, the light silent. So, up here. Please. Please put your hands together for Honorable Arishe, Estate Governor on Person with Disabilities. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you. Your Excellency, sir, I want to appreciate our governor, the one and only governor, the inclusive governor in Ondo State. I'm one of persons with disability, board chairman agency for persons with disability, and I want to appreciate the speaker for mentioning persons with disability. I want to tell you, Ondo State is one of the best inclusive states in Nigeria. And I want to tell you, in terms of health insurance, I want to appreciate our governor and the DG of Ondo State in insurance. We have captured all special school and all persons with disability into health insurance. I want to say kudos to Ondo State. And I want to appeal to our Mr. Governor. I want to appreciate him once again, because he just appointed special assistants to the governor on special person. And we are still liberties. We don't mind if we are giving commissioner next, commissioner on disability, disabled matter, special advisor to Mr. Governor on disability. And I want to tell you, we want to ask, my people tell me to ask, to tell you that in Ondo State, we need supervisory counselor across all local governments. We want our people to represent us well. Thank you, and thank you for recognizing me. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I greet all our leaders, Mr. Governor, sir, all protocols observed. My name is Yemi Adetoyinbo, and by my appearance, you can recognize my profession. Thank you, the guest speaker. I remember 23rd June 2012, when I moved a motion in Ibadan at the Egbe Amofi on your confinement of the SAN. Today you have not disappointed us. You have raised some fundamental issues which borders on my person, my canvases, my positions across Nigeria like you, as equally a human rights activist. The fact remains that you talk about education. Can't we make education free in Ondo State, which is the bastion of our hope? From a civil service state, from 1976 to date, you told us that Ondo State produced 10 National Merit Award winners from Professor Adegoke and others that were celebrated by former Governor Olusegun Mimiko. Today, can we boast of even 5 in recent times? What is wrong with us? Again, you talk about cocoa. Our fathers for 500 years, what is their gain? That Ondo State government, by conscious effort, should establish industries to actualize production of cocoa, drinkable materials. What they are talking about, cocoa industry in Ondo Ile-Oluji, the foreigners were coming here to establish some. What is the support of government? Akeredolu, the state capital, had none. If you go to Kwara State, Basita, or Kim Biscuits, sugarcane company, you talk about St. Louis products. We cannot even produce ordinary pure water backed up by government in Ondo State. Where will our youth be employed? And again, let me go to this area also. We are talking about infrastructural development.
4 minutes.
Ondo State is lacking behind. I want to urge Mr. Governor to declare a state of emergency on infrastructure in Ondo State, especially the state capital. at the same time declare free education so that we can go back to what belongs to us. We get back to Ekiti State where Mr. Fenfalana came from, and I want to be happy in life that Ondo State cherish and continue to enjoy free health services, free education. What Awolowo brought us up with when we have free books distributed in 1979, 1980s. So today, our children find it difficult to proceed. The 2.2 million that has no benefits of education in Nigeria. Ondo State are sharing a part of this. So thank you very much.
Subsequent speakers, please, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, sir. Laden 6, sir. I very sure you are aware of the police brutality in Nigeria, which you are conversant with. And my fear, personally, has always been the usage of state police. What can we do, or what can be done in making sure that eventually when we have state police in Nigeria, how do we refine them better than what we have now? Because presently in Ondo State, some might agree, some will not. The Amotekun we have some bad eggs that are being used to settle debt and settle fight between girlfriend and boyfriend. And I'm sure His Excellency should work hard to make sure that we refine the present Amotekun in the state to make it to work for the concept that was created for. And I'm sure by the end of his tenure, Amotekun will be better than what our late governor left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, sir, that's all for now.
Okay. I now invite the lecturer to respond to some of the issues raised. Mr. Lecturer.
I want to come up. You come up, sir. Well, madam, on commission of crimes by other people come to the state, it is in my paper that 95% of criminal offenses in Nigeria are state offenses. When, unfortunately, one of our leaders, Falai, was kidnapped, and the police in Abuja paraded 2 sets of criminals, and I called the then Attorney General, Itayo Jegere, said, come, why are you allowing the police in Abuja to mess us up? This is a state matter, armed robbery. Are you sure? Ask for the file. It's your business as Attorney General. And that was what happened on that occasion. The criminal suspects were brought to Ondo State and they were prosecuted successfully in the High Court of Ondo State, Akure here. Again, is my paper. I'm challenging my friend, the Honorable Attorney General, to take control of law and order in the state. Currently, apart from payment of salaries by Abuja, everything, including vehicles, fueling of vehicles by the police, or whatever, it is the state government that takes care of all other things, apart from salary paid by Abuja. And on that basis, I'm challenging the Attorney General, take control. There is in the state a security council headed by the governor. All the military people are in the state, heads of military institutions, custom, immigration, all of them, commissioner of police are members. So you are the one to take charge of your state. Honorable Attorney General, there is the Criminal Justice Monitoring Committee headed by your good self. The Commissioner of Police is a member. The Controller of Correctional Center is a member.
That is the body empowered by law to ensure that criminal cases are speedily dealt with, the congestion of prisons and the rest of them. That body has to be funded, Your Excellency, so that we can make Ondo State a pace setter that it has always been in many areas of our development. With regards to those who are coming into the state, of course, you cannot operate in isolation. So the Amotekun here, and I know this, work hand in hand with the Amotekun in Ekiti State and all the other neighboring states. And I think such collaboration will have to continue. Yes, people with disability, I'm happy that the state government is doing much to assist those people with disability. On free education, I've been informed that from primary to secondary school in Ondo State, education is free. Primary to secondary school in Ondo State, that education is free. If you know anybody who says they can't go to school because they cannot afford the fees, you must get in touch with the Commissioner of Education. But that is the policy of the state government, which is not very common in the country. And I think the state government must be commended for that. And of course, for our indigent students in tertiary institutions, you must apply for the student loan. And if you have a problem with that again, you must contact the state government. As of the last time, that body has given out almost 25 billion naira to indigent students. Our students must take advantage of that. On state police, Amotekun, yes, of course, there will be bad eggs in Amotekun. But so far, and this is being honest, Amotekun has not been involved in elections. And this is very important. It's key. Because that was the fear entertained that governors will use Amotekun and state police to rig elections. In the case of Amotekun, that has not happened. For those who may be settling scores, again, your duty is to report such operatives so that they can be dealt with, because that is outside the law establishing the body. And there are decisions of our courts to the effect that the police or such institutions are not created to settle scores. They are created to deal with crimes. For my colleague, the lawyer, my colleague, it is also important that we assist the states to have money in the kit. We are currently having a case in Abuja, in the Supreme Court, where all the monies collected, recoveries done by the federal government, such money has been paid to TSA. We are challenging the legality because somebody stole about $5 billion from the central bank. I'm not talking of Emefiele, I'm talking of Abacha. Direct. If you are returning the money, it must go back to the federation account. It can't go to the account of the federal government. So such cases are in court, and the governors must do more. And that is the only way to have money to establish industries, infrastructure. We have one that we are taking up. The federal government, on behalf of all of us, set up, invested in LNG in 1989. We own 49%, while IOCs own 51%. In the last 25 years, that body, LNG, the dividends paid, destined for the federation account, totaled $35.4 billion. And I wrote to the government recently, this money is with NNPC. NNPC represents the federal government in the board. So this is the dividend for the federation. NNPC corners the money. I've written to NNPC, where is this money? NNPC, of course, has just written a very illiterate letter to me, through a lawyer, that NNPC is now a limited liability company, so we are not bound by the Freedom of Information Act. I beg your pardon. The Court of Appeal has decided, in the case of Shedum and IOP, that once you take public fund, you are bound by the Freedom of Information Act. And I do hope the National Economic Council will also intervene here. Your Excellency, there's a lot of money that should go to Federation account. And that is the only way you can make money. Sir, the last one. For 18 years, a particular law was not implemented in Nigeria. And the law was Offshore Inland Basin Contract Act. I stumbled on the law and I wrote to the government, you haven't implemented this law. Why? Because the law provided that anytime the price of oil went beyond $20, then we'll go back to the drawing table to do the calculation. The law was not implemented. So, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, and Bayelsa went to court. And the Supreme Court ordered the federal government to collect the money. 18 years, royalties. The government of Buhari sat down and they discovered that the money was $62 billion. The federal government wanted to collect the money. One minister, I think Silva, said nobody can collect that kind of money. It's too much. We are going to negotiate. Rivers went back to court. Rivers and Akwa Ibom. Whether you want to collect this money or not, our own is $3.1 billion there. The court awarded them. Bayelsa went to court. Our own is $950 million from this money. They got judgment. I'm sure my friend Akeredolu Agilese will want to look at this area. Because for me, my colleague, Mr. Akeredolu, I think you used to be one of us. You were a human rights activist, but I think you are now a money rights activist. My friend is busy making money now. But on a very serious note, unless we have enough money in the Federation account, it's going to be difficult for state government to meet their responsibilities. The last one, I think you made the point, sir, and I've referred to that. The need for our state government, sir, now that they say brand A or whatever, that we're entitled to about 20 hours a day electricity, we must now have zones where we can have factories, textile factories, and the rest of them. If you can guarantee electricity for 20 hours, it should be possible for us to have factories in many areas of the state. And those companies that are just established, glass industry, and I know a leader here who is working in that area, Dr. Malumi is working in that area, how to revive the glass industry. And there are other industries in this state that we must bring back. And new ones, Your Excellency, must be created. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. And at this point, I will revert to you as an erudite scholar. God bless you, sir. We appreciate you. Let me recognize Mr. Valentine Olaleye, Mr. Governor's friend. I recognize you, sir. We thank you for being part of today's occasion. All the Hausawas in the house, under the able leadership of Alhaji Garuba Goniya, Special Assistant to Mr. Governor on Hausa Central. All the Hausas in the house, I greet you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. All the lucky guys, TLG across the 18 local government and our LCDAs, I recognize you. The lucky women under the able leadership of Mrs. Funke Akeredolu Aruna, I recognize you all. Honorable Adeni Ade is okay. You are welcome, sir. Honorable Toluwani Borokini, I recognize you. Right Honorable Taufik Abud Salam, former Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, Commissioner representing Ondo State at the Code of Conduct Bureau. I recognize you, sirs. You are all welcome. My Lord, Honorable Justice Akito Sadebe, my Lord, I recognize you, ma. Honorable Justice O.M. Adejumo, I recognize you. Honorable Justice Dimeyo Ogunbayo, Mrs. Yetunde Ajanaku Makun, Chief Registrar High Court of Justice, Ondo State. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we want to take goodwill messages now, and I'll hand over the mic to my colleague to handle that session.
Thank you very much. Before we take the good messages, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are the owner of a Lexus 350 car, black Lexus car, with registration number FCT 180HB, Lagos, please go and repark. You are blocking many vehicles, please. If you are the owner, go and repark. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now take good messages, just few ones, and I will begin with an APC chieftain. Okay, let's begin with the chairman of the party in Ondo State, Engineer Adetimenye. Good message, very quickly. Please put your hands together for the chairman of APC Ondo State, Engineer Adetimenye. Good messages. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for the chairman of the party in Ondo State, Engineer Adetimenye. And after him, a chieftain of the party in the state, Alhaji Jemiu Ekungba, will also give us a good message after him. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, sir, you are welcome.
APC. APC. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Our Lord is good. Mr. Governor, sir, Your Excellency, Honorable Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, I salute you and I pay my respects. The chairman of this occasion, our father, the man I refer to as a role model in all ramifications, Pa Bashorun Sende Arubofa. I pay my respects. The lecturer of today's lecture series, Comrade Femi Falana, the learned Sikh, I greet you, sir. The Chief Judge of our state, my Lord, Chief Justice Odushola, I greet you, sir. To other leaders ably seated in this hall, I thank you for honoring this invitation of Mr. Governor. Yes, we are here to remember our late leader who has served the state very well. And I thank Mr. Governor for giving it a thought to organize this lecture. Yes, the man is not here, but like a Yoruba do say, one learn to shoju, could have been to shame. And what we are doing now, one the man saw, we to Kubanrina, we know that it's being celebrated today. On behalf of all our members across the length and breadth of Ondo State, we thank Mr. Governor for deeming it fit to organize this notable or this noble lecture. And for the leaders that are seated too, I thank God on behalf of all of us for us to witness this very, very important occasion. And you agree with me that Arákùnrin Olúwarótìmí Ọdúnayọ̀ Akeredolu, SAN-CON, is a man that we will always love. He's a courageous man, very principled. He believes in all his words, both in actions and thought. But like we do say, who are we to question God? God is the giver and the taker. You do it without notification. When he call on you, so he has called on him. So for those of us that are left behind, it is our.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Engineer Adetimehin, Chairman APC on State. Thank you very much, sir. I want to humbly invite the chieftain of the APC, Alhaji Jamiu Ekungba, for his own good message. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. As he makes his way to the podium, may I recognize the former Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dare Emiola. You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the governor of the state, I think I must start remembering my friend from that word I used. When he became governor, after the swearing him and I followed him to the office, I said, Executive Governor. What do you mean? He's executive governor. He now told me, he said, go and read the Constitution of Nigeria. To be a governor, you can do and undo. And he made an example for me. He said, for instance, somebody is committed to death by the court, and the person appealed up to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court say, go and kill him. He said, as governor, you can free the man. And when you free him, it's not that he will not be killed alone. He has not committed that offense. He said, what can be more executive than that? What did you say? I didn't use executive because your predecessor said I shouldn't use it on him. I want to thank you for organizing this today. The chairman of the day, Baba Arubofa Sengde, I always tell people, my children said, Chief, when are you going to retire? I said, when Baba Sengde retires, I was retire. He keep me going. When he got here this evening, I just look at him again. I said, the man is getting younger. And our brother, our comrade, whenever you talk, you speak fire. And you have done it for us again today. My Lord, the Chief Judge is also here. I want to use these 4 people. I'm my chairman, the chairman of the party. I want to use them to greet every one of you and to thank you for being here. The issue of Aketi makes me to be emotional. Some of you know the reason, some don't know. The first 1 year of our life, we spent it together under the tutelage of both his mother, my mother, and my aunt in the same house. So when I grew up and I was going to Ilekeu, Aketi will follow me. And we were being taught one alif ba ta sa. So when we get to ta, he will say toba ta mamu. Afa now broke it, want to greet him. He said, what? Afa, don't beat me, oh. My father is a pastor. So if I come here, if you beat me, I won't come next time. So that's the life we spend together. So much so that, let me tell you one secret today you carry away. When I was in secondary school, went to do work, and they said we should bring birth certificate. My father is a big man in our war, but he's illiterate, both in Arabic and the other way. The same thing my mother. They don't even record the date of my birth. But one thing my mother remembers is that Chebore Loma Pastor, referring to Akeredolu, Oshumefa Lufijo Agbaye. So I now went to Akeredolu. What's the date of your birth? 27 July. I then took that 6 months back. And that's how I arrived at my January 30th. So if tomorrow, Comrade SAN, if somebody challenge my birthday, I will call you to come and defend me. So this is why I must be emotional every time about anything about Aketi. So this morning when Smart called me and said there's going to be lecture, WhatsApp. I don't read WhatsApp now. So I left Owo. I started watching down. I want to thank those people who consider this thing, and I want to thank the governor for accepting it. I understood this is the first. I want to plead with the governor that this thing should be institutionalized so that it will live after you. The reason is this. Aketi came. Like everybody has said, you can predict him. If he doesn't like something, go fair. They will tell you, that is what will you do. So, for this program, this is the type of program that should be used to immortalize people of his type, so that every year we can come together like this, listen to some of the things he has done, learn from it, and continue to copy it. I want to also thank the governor for, since he became his deputy, up till now, for me, I do not see any, and nobody has been able to convince me that this man has not been absolutely loyal to Aketi. And one of the loyalties being demonstrated today. Yes, I'm doing this program. I'm following his step. It was exactly 1 year yesterday. So when I woke up yesterday, I told my wife, we had a wedding to attend. I said, I'm going to be late to that wedding. He said, you don't get late to program. I said, I want to remember my friend. He said, who? I said, Keti. What you told you? And then you organized this program for him. And this program, you brought a lecturer. Because wherever Comrade Femi Falana say and speak, the world must listen. So this lecture today is not just a lecture for we people in Ondo State. It's for Nigeria, because what he said here today, the federal government must do what? Listen. So I want to thank the governor for this one. I want to use the opportunity also to thank everybody that has come here today. God will continue to bless all of you. And let me seek this opportunity to appeal to you to allow me to lead the prayer for our friend. At the mosque, I did my Jumat, which is the government mosque. The Imam did a special prayer for him. I want us to join to do that special prayer for him. Because in Islam, we believe that after death, everything you do closes. Now I'm an accountant. They say your balance sheet has a close. But like accountant too, there's what is called balance sheet effect. After closing, there are some things that will happen that you must reflect. And after death, whatever you leave as legacy that will continue to benefit mankind, you continue to gain from it until eternity. And one of it is what's being discussed here today, the security of Ondo State. May God Almighty reward Akeredolu for everything he did for Ondo State during his time as governor, during his time as Attorney General, when he was MBH president, and when he was even ordinary citizen. May God continue to reward him. And for that reason, every one of us that has come to remember him, may God continue to bless us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Jamiu Ekungba, a renowned banker and politician. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite the representative of the Right Honorable Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, ably represented here today by Honorable Begudu Ololade. A round of applause for the representative of the Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, our guest lecturer here today, Chief Femfala no SAN, the Chairman of the occasion, Babaro Buffer, the Chief Judge, Baba Odushola, our revered KBACs, good people of Ondo State. I beg greetings from the Speaker of Ondo State House of Assembly. He's unavoidably absent. Sorry, my mistake. The Chairman of a great party. I agree to, sir. Sorry for my mistake. I want to say, Your Excellency, that the former governor was a governor who worked on rock and left an indelible mark. I remember when we went to set up the Amotekun Corps. Incidentally, I was the Chairman's Committee on Security, and we went to Ibadan with the speakers of the Southwest States of Assembly. I was also there, the Chairman of Security Committees in the Southwest, and some of the governors were there also. And we deliberated on the creation of Amotekun. We had a proposal from Ondo State, which we have actually sat down and worked on. Other states, Your Excellency, made their presentation, and I was going to make a presentation for Ondo State. When we had us, the rest of the states, the governors applauded our presentation, and our presentation, incidentally, from Ondo State was the one that was adopted for the Southwest and throughout the states of Southwest. And later on, while we were about to, they were going to round up with the presentation, I remember that I went to meet His Excellency and I said, Baba, sir, that if we copy, if other states of Southwest copies this thing, there's a particular thing in Ondo State, I think it's section 4B, section 4, section 2B, and that Ondo State has water body, and there's a particular portion in that place which states that there shall be provided speedboats, and there shall be provided fire gun machine for speedboats that are going to work against some of these people that operate on the waterways, and that we should change for Ekiti, that we should expunge that particular portion from Ekiti and from Oshun. And yes, we went back to the presentation table and we extracted this, and the bill was presented to other states, and that was what the rest of the state took back to their states and were passed into law. Yes, I remember that we had a lot of threats. I still kept some of the messages in my own phone which I was using then, and which messages says that we should not, that I in particular should not partake, and our former speaker also and members of the House of Assembly should not partake in the public hearing, that we should not go ahead with that bill. I went to Mr. Governor and said, Oga, Erumba wow, because these are threats that cannot be wished away. And he said nothing will happen, that we should go ahead, and that there is nothing that will happen to us. And also that if we need security, we will provide security. We said, okay, we have security. If you had assured us that we can go ahead, yes, TDP over to Sofu, Constable Kojo, Ajopaniti, Constable, and said we will go ahead. And so we went ahead. We had public hearing, and we subsequently passed the bill into law. We thank God Almighty, Your Excellency, that is operational today. And I want to particularly thank you, Your Excellency, for upholding the legacies of the late governor, and that you actually want Amotekun to succeed. And of course, I must applaud you, sir, that you are appointed the pioneer commandant of Amotekun, who has most of the operational work modes of Amotekun. And this is why you see Amotekun flourishing today. Yes, just like our senior advocate has said, there's no organization that do not have its shortcoming. We'll keep managing them. We'll keep on encouraging them. We'll organize seminars for them. And I know that at the end of the day, it will turn out for better for Ondo State. Thank you, Your Excellency. Eshegoni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Begudu Ololade, representing Mr. Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly. Thank you very much, sir. That's Aketi for you, a very fearless and courageous leader. Thank you very much, sir. And that brings us to the last but not the least good message that will come from distinguished senator representing Ondo Central Senatorial District, Senator Adeniyi Adegbomire, SAN. Please put your hands together for distinguished Senator Adegbomire. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President Governor of Ondo State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, if you would permit me, let me just stand on the protocol, because time is spent, but I must still recognize Baba Arugofa. Good evening, sir. And my God, of course, Mr. Femi Falana, SCN. Personally, I must commend His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, for putting this together. Because for me, it's a recognition of what Aketi stands for, intellectualism. And I told Mr. Falana, SCN was also apt, given what Aketi stood for and what he believed in. So I must thank His Excellency very much. Aketi and I are both lawyers and politicians. Sit Aketi in politics. I actually met Aketi in the courtroom when I was still practicing and he was also practicing. And one thing I would say about Aketi is that his demeanor, character, outlook, beliefs in practice was the same thing he brought into politics. And unlike what people thought that Aketi was, for lack of a better way of putting it, headstrong, that was not true. Aketi was actually had a listening ear if you had a better argument. And I'll give you a classic example. In our last elections, we had a challenge, and we had a meeting the day before, and people had expressed that Aketi had taken a position, a particular position, and that we were going to have a meeting with him, and that he was not going to change that position. So we got to the meeting at Government House, and Aketi went on and on and on and on about this thing. And I said to people that were sitting beside me, I said, what Aketi is saying is wrong now. He said, that's all. Aketi make up mind them. So I called Bola Alabi, his protocol man. I said, Bola, after this meeting, I'd like to speak to Aketi, but I want to speak to him privately. So we got into his sitting room, and he said, we are speaking in Yoruba now. So I beg your pardon that I have to switch to Yoruba. So I said to him, you work, sir. He said, so I repeated it to him. He said, why is you feeling work? So I broke it down to him. Louder. Okay. I said, when I got into Aketi's sitting room, I said to him, sir, sir. He said, yes, Bola me. So I told him what I wanted to speak to him about. He said, no. I said, sir. You is bound to fail. And I will explain to you. And I explained to him. He then said to me, so Kinikashi, so I told him. And that was exactly what Aketi implemented that day. So, why have I given this example? Is that Aketi was an extremely intelligent person. And even if I say so, people like Mr. Fallon, we also come across as being obstinate. People who are very intelligent have a way of saying, I have thought about this thing thoroughly. So except you come with a superior argument, it's difficult to change their minds. And that is Aketi for you. But one thing we cannot take away from him was his courage and his fearlessness and his honesty. If you went to Aketi and he said, if he says, you can go to sleep. I know that you'll get that thing. So I must say, and this topic, when I looked at the topic, I said, security sector reform. I said, that's a very interesting topic. And when Mr. Falana was speaking, I was saying, I hope Egbon will not say, Niya Adegbowe is sitting there. He also make a law. He's chairman, Senate Committee of Judiciary. I was fearful. But the truth of the matter is that I think that given the security challenges that we are presently facing, I must also again commend the governor for choosing this topic, because it is a topical one that we ought to all look at. So I would like to extend appreciation to the entire members of our great party for coming out in large numbers today in memory of our former governor and leader. I would also say that, and I must say that I trust His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, that this way that we celebrated Aketi today would continue and will be bigger. I must also say that when I was reading in the papers that, or on the news, when I heard on the news that the High Court complex had actually been named after Aketi, I was extremely elated to the extent that I shed tears. And I'll tell you why. I know it was a project that the Ondo State government had been conceiving since the time of Chief Ade Farati. I also know that Aketi was also very, very particular about it. And for the governor to say, on a day Aketi is being celebrated, is the day that I will name this complex in memory of Aketi, must be commended. And if you will permit me, we have to give our governor 3 boosters for that very, very great gesture. Because it will, in 20 years, 30 years time, 100 years time, anybody looking at that building will say, who was this person? Who was this? It's a way that you can never erase Aketi's legacy. Because everybody that looks at that complex will say, why is this complex named against, in memory of a particular person? So I must say that to the governor, we say, Bosa, Bosa, Bosa. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Adeniyi Adegbomire. We appreciate you, sir. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our time is fast spent, but it's indeed a very wonderful time, and it's worth the while. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I bring to the podium now that lawyer man, humility personified, my own governor, your governor, our governor, the people's governor, the 18.0 governor, that man whose leadership is divine. Distinguished guests with a standing ovation, please bring to the podium His Excellency Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa.
Thank you. Let us be seated. a day to remember. Because we are alive to be part of the day, and also in health to be here, to be part of this day. To God alone be all the glory. Let me quickly acknowledge our leaders and very, very important personalities that has left all they were doing to be here with us on a day like this. Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Olaide Adelami MNI, I recognize you. The Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, who is ably represented by the Chairman House Committee on Security, Honorable Ololade Gbegudu, I also recognize you. The Chief Judge of Ondo State, my noble Lord Justice Ayedun Olusegun Bushola, the President Customary Court of Appeal, my Lord Justice Eunice Alade. Let me also quickly acknowledge the chairman of today's event, our leader and author, octogenarian, who is still looking 60. Bashons and Diarogo, I recognize you, sir. The guest speaker of today, sometimes they say it's a very controversial Lionel Silk, but it's a man who stands by the truth and always speak the truth at all times. It doesn't matter whether you are his friend, he will tell you the way it is. Now he has been referred to as a comrade too. But I know you are Chief Femi Falana, SAN. I recognize you, sir. The former Deputy Governor, His Excellency Lassis Oluboyo, I recognize you. Alhaji Lassis Oluboyo. Thank you for joining us. The chairman of our party, Engineer Diade Timei. Chairman for 8 years under Akeredolu. Let me also acknowledge all our party leaders that are here. The member representing our Federal constituency, Otumba Timile Adeyigbe, my very good friend, I recognize you. The Executive Director, Corporate Services, Niger Data Development Commission, former SSG to this state, two-time member House of Representatives who represented Akure South and North, Honorable Ifedayo Abegunde, aka Abena Duam. Nǹkan tó ṣe lénìí kò wọ́n ti sọ fún wa. All my noble lords that are here, I recognize every one of you in your large numbers. Thank you so much for coming. Former CJN and Lord Justice Kumuyi, I also recognize you. All members of Ondo State Executive Council, the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, every one of you, the special advisors, Head of Service, I also recognize you, Bayo Phillips, Chief of Staff, see where I've come put you, but I have recognized you at least. It's better late than never. Sorry for that protocol mix. All former commissioners that are here who have served at one time or the other, the service chiefs, more particularly the commander of Amotekun Corps, whose tenure has just been renewed this year to continue. Kabiyesi, Iraliku of Isika, and all other traditional chiefs that are here. Our party leaders, Mama Nimola, I greet you specially. All members of the State Assembly that are here, all of you. Great Nigerian youth, I recognize all of you. If I have not mentioned your category at all, just know that God knows that you are here and He knows exactly where you are seated, because you are wonderfully and fearfully made by Him, so you are so important. I recognize every one of you. Let me quickly say, much has been said, and I will not want to repeat so much that has been said by earlier speakers, either as chairman of this occasion, as guest lecturer, those who made short remarks and covered their goodwills. They have been talking about one man. Even though he's no longer here with us on this planet Earth, but he's somewhere in God. God knows where he is, just as He knows that you are still here. But we are only talking about the much or the little we know about him. That God knows so much about him. We can only speak of him based on our interactions and all that he did when he was here on earth. I also have my own share of relationship with him since 2012, when we met the field of politics. We share moments together, pleasant moments in the course of the journey, so much laughter, sometimes shouting, sometimes that comes with another apology. I've been lucky. Change. I'm brash. You know, and a lot of teasing, and he's a man of many parts. Fun to be with, no dull moment. We can continue to recount and mention, you know, so much. But today he's no more, but we have to continue to celebrate and remember him. I as a person will continue, as long as I live, to honor this man. If you are looking for Aketi legacy, this is #1 Aketi legacy. So for everything that God will allow me to do politically, I can tell you it's an extension of Aketi School of Thought. Sometimes, before I decide to change my look to this way, they always say that we are like brothers. Because there's so much that we share together during his lifetime. And he made no mistake about who should succeed him. And I'm saying that here for all of you to hear. Even if you did not hear the one he said in the secret or in the ESCO chamber, At least all of you, you heard the one he said on social media. The day of our inauguration on the 24th of February 2021. That is just one of them. And you know, he's a man that will speak the truth, will speak his mind. Once he is convinced about the thing or any issue, he will prosecute that with so much courage without any form of fear. His conviction, you can't change him. I remember when he was to choose me as his deputy, so many falsehood and lies were being told about me that I have no school cert, no school certificate, and that if he should put me on the ticket with him, that the case that of a man that won an election in Bayelsa might probably happen to him. He did not even ask me to go and bring my school cert for him to see. Said, I know him, he will not lie. Lucky doesn't lie. He will tell you the truth. Even when somebody said after the election and the PDP filed petition and they put my name as one of the respondents, before they serve us the paper, you know, they normally flash the back cover, and we saw it on the social media, and then somebody saw it. They said, yeah, Agbe want to charge deputy governor alongside. I can hardly hear myself. What is happening? I hope you can hear me. As if it was because, and the person now told again that, I said it. Now they have put the deputy governor's name as a respondent. It's because of his certificate, his school cert. That is why. And then what he started did, now as we say, lucky, oh sure, only Oga. Tó bá jẹ́ nǹkan tó ń torí yẹn náà ṣe lọ sí tribunal, but wọ́n ti fail already. Lo and behold, by the time they will serve us the full brief, they did not even mention anything about my certificate. I'm saying all of this for you to know that once he believes in you, he will go all the way to stand by you, to support you. He made a choice of a deputy, and he's by himself designed a billboard. And he said, right choice, right time. I don't know if many of you remember. Designed by him himself concerning the choice of his deputy. There's nothing that I do in remembrance of Akeredolu today that will be too much, because of the kind of person and friend that he is. So today we gather on the threshold of history with mixed feelings in commemoration of the first anniversary of the glorious but painful exit of our leader and mentor, the late governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunaya Akeredolu, SANCOL. On that unforgetful day, 27 December 2023, mountain moved and the earth shook to its very foundation at the loss of the icon and courageous statesman who emptied himself in the service of our dear Sunshine State and humanity. Even though his unexpected departure leaves ashes on our mouth, we must celebrate him for his undying legacy, impact, and fulfilled life. And that is exactly what we are doing here today. So let me use this opportunity to thank Tifemi Falana for accepting to be with us today, despite a bit of conflicting messages that went out on the social media, but he has chosen to be with us here. Thank you so much. And for Bashorun Sendiarogofa too for accepting to chair this occasion. Incidentally, this day also marks the anniversary of my official inauguration as constitutional successor to the vacant seat of governor arising from his unfortunate demise. These twin events are so compelling, but owing to their striking coincidence and our usual love and respect for the late Akeredolu, we have chosen to accord premium to his remembrance with this commemorative lecture rather than my own 1 year in office celebration. Kabiyesi, distinguished chairman of this occasion, our guest speaker, my noble lords, ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome you all to this milestone event, let me request your kind indulgence for us to rise once again in observance of a minute silence in honor of our departed political icon, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo, Akeredolu SCNCON. Gentle soul, rest in peace. Sometimes I refer to him, the man who saw tomorrow and envisioned a brighter future for us, our children, and our dear Sunshine State. As we pay tribute to these legendary citizens of Nigeria, son of Ondo State and a native of Owo, this event is a testament to his enduring legacy and the profound impact he had on our state and Nigeria at large. We must continue to remember his unwavering commitment to the welfare and development of our state. We must celebrate him for his selfless service, visionary leadership, and infectious passion for progress, which continue to inspire us. Akeredolu was that courageous leader who spoke the truth to power and fought for the advancement of democracy and the rule of law in our country. His leadership was not only marked by integrity, transparency, and a deep understanding of the needs of our people. Governor Akeredolu also implemented various initiatives geared towards transforming Ondo State. His administration's, which I'm also part of, landmark achievements are profound in the area of security, infrastructural development, education, healthcare, youth empowerment, and entrepreneurship, economic growth and development. Thank the guest lecturer that was able to respond to some of the questions put forward by some of the commentators, especially in the areas of education, talking about free education. I can tell you from primary to secondary school, education in Ondo State is free. Not only that, we even pay the wide fees for all public secondary school students who are to write WAEC exam. Like the guest speaker also said that our own counterpart for SUBED, we are knowing, we are fulfilling our part so as to access the fund to develop our primary school education. Akeredolu was a veteran in his profound commitment to security of lives and property of all residents of the Sunshine State. We must continue to appreciate his advocacy for the state policing, his sacrifices and contributions towards the establishment of the Western Security Network, codenamed Amotekun Corps. He fought gallantly alongside his colleague governors in the Southwest to establish the homegrown security outfit that has become a reference point in Nigeria. It is true, at the National Economic Council, every state were asked to submit a proposal or position paper concerning whether we support state police or otherwise. And I want to let you know that even though we are Federal Capital Territory, we believe we're part of the Federation in a way, but they cannot ask for state police because the current police structure, you know, is what they are operating and what they believe in. But every other state support state police, which has been now approved at support for, which everybody has spoken about. It is therefore apt for us to gather here in commemoration of the late Generalissimo of Amotekun Security Corps, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, SCNCON, to explore the profound theme of this memorial lecture, which is security sector reform in promoting peace, stability, and development, the Ondo State example. This is one cause he fought for, and we can see the evidence in our state. It is a known fact that Ondo State is being adjudged to be one of the safest and peaceful states in Nigeria because of this security architecture that has been put in place by the late governor. And we have made a vow that we sustain the same so that Ondo State can remain peaceful and safe for all. The interesting thing about this is the way the Amotekun Corps have been collaborating with other conventional security agencies. The whole work is not just for Amotekun alone. We must, you know, mention this fact that Amotekun is structured in a way so that we can work with the other security agencies like the police, the civil defense, the military, so that we can have that synergy, especially when we are still being restricted from operating as a full-fledged, you know, police, let me, you know, in quotes, because of the kind of equipment that they can carry. And we cannot begin to risk people for certain operations, so we have to collaborate with those other conventional security agencies that are legally authorized to carry some of those weapons. So it has been a wonderful relationship with them. It's been very, very peaceful. There have not been any clash, as it were. The time you experience between two security agencies quarreling and fighting among themselves. With the maturity that we have put in place with Amotekun. So it's a seamless operation between Amotekun and the other security agencies. So I want to congratulate and thank the commander of Amotekun for the maturity and understanding with which he has been discharging his duty in relationship with other security agencies. And from all that the guest lecturer has also brought to our knowledge today, he has enriched our knowledge. And for myself, I've also learned one or two things. He has challenged me in different ways. So we are running away here with so much pivotal insights, more inspiration and greater understanding of the instrumentality of security in socio-political and economic growth of our state and of our country at large. Thank you, guest lecturer. Thank you so much. It is not about safe travels alone from one location to the other, or sleep in your house without being attacked. Social security is important. Food security is important. It's only, and then collaboration with your neighboring states, so that if you have peace in your state, if your neighbor is being troubled, there is a way it can filter, into your own state. On my official inauguration as a constitutional successor, I made a solemn commitment to carry on the mantle of leadership and to pursue the late governor's development agenda and vision of accelerated development of our dear state, most especially to complete ongoing projects started by him. Mine was a promise to work together with you all and my team to build a brighter future for our state, a future that is worthy and fitting for Akeredolu's memory, because that is what he wanted to see. Sometimes he makes some remarks when we'll be in the executive council chamber, and you say, anything about the party, anything lucky about them, continue our party to cook. For those of you who didn't understand Yoruba, we say that if I cannot finish all this work we've started, by the time Lucky comes, he will complete them. And now I'm here, I will complete them. That has been his wish. And not once, not twice, has he made such statements in different forms. But for some kind of political interest, those who believe in him as their leader, they don't want to believe or support his vision in other areas, or who should be his successor. But it's unfortunate, the man has spoken and it has come to pass. We are proud to inform you that we have since sustained the tempo of progress as we follow this commitment consensuously. As soon as I assumed office as governor, contractors who had abandoned our project site as a result of the stalemate and lull in the governance occasioned by the unfortunate political intrigue of that period were immediately mobilized back to site. To the glory of God, the affected projects are either completed or at advanced stages of completion. Following the footsteps of the late Akeredolu, we have not only prioritized the welfare of the people, we have also clearly initiated policies and programs which have direct impact on their lives. We remain committed to the values of transparency, accountability, and inclusivity. While reflecting on my 1 year in office, I feel proud of the progress we have made in restoring the confidence of the people and in building upon the foundation laid by our late governor. We continue to work tirelessly to address the myriads of challenges facing our state, from infrastructural development to economic growth and social welfare. Myself and my deputy and my team, the Executive Council, have made significant strides in agriculture and food security, rural and urban roads construction. We have commenced implementation of 73,000 naira minimum wage for our workers, and we have paid salaries and pensions up to date. Our administration has tremendously mitigated the suffering of retired pensioners through bulk payments of billions of naira from their outstanding arrears of gratuities. Students of Ondo State origin tertiary institutions across the country are also enjoying bursary, scholarships, and financial assistance to enable them excel in their studies. Similarly, despite the fact that it's an election year, construction of new roads have been flagged off, including 15.5 kilometer Odatan Kokobod Langbodo, 12.2 kilometer Molenge Owo Ugboro Agumbiade Owo Ute Junction, and 3.5 kilometer Ebute Pare Okepare Road. Also ongoing are the constructions of 100 meters concrete walkway with jetty at Obinla in Ilaje local government area, as well as construction and rehabilitation of 60-kilometer urban roads across the state. The construction of 27.93-kilometer road from Ode-Ajagba east-west to Akotogbo, 14.51-kilometer southeast of Ijosun in the local government area, and an ultra-modern judiciary complex in Akure, to mention a few. All of these are already ongoing, even though officially we flagged off the construction of the modern multi-billion naira judiciary complex for our judiciary arm of government, which have just been named Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu Judiciary Complex. We have employed more workers into critical sectors of the public service such as education, health, justice, judiciary, and internal revenue service to remedy personnel gaps and to deplete the army of unemployed in our state. We continue to give priority also to security of lives and property, with frequent overhauling of our security architecture and logistic support to the security agencies. We shall do more under our renewed mandate to sustain our place in history as one of the safest and most peaceful states in Nigeria. Permit me to reiterate that the outcome of the recent gubernatorial election of 16th of November 2024 in Ondo State is a clear expression of the people's trust and confidence in our administration and party, the All Progressive Movement. We secured an unprecedented victory in all the 18 local governments of Ondo State. The people of Ondo State spoke with a very loud voice and voted for us massively in that free, fair, credible, and conclusive election. An election that has been adjudged the most peaceful in recent time in Nigeria. I must therefore thank all our party leaders, the good people of Ondo State, again and again, for this incredible love and support. This renewed mandate freely given to me and my deputy has further placed a burden on us to strive harder and more vigorously for the greatest happiness of the greatest number of our people in in Ondo State. It is an irreducible minimum we owe to the memory of our late governor and the people of Ondo State. At this juncture, it is important to especially acknowledge again the distinguished chairman of this occasion, Bashorun Sendi Arugufa, and our guest speaker, Chief Femi Falana SAN. I must confess that we are very intentional and strategic about the choice of these two great men of sagacity and intellect. They are distinguished, successful, and highly respected personalities who have paid their dues in the development of our dear Sunshine State and Nigeria. After all, Ekiti used to be part of this state. We do not also take for granted their profound knowledge of the checkered history of Ondo State. They also seem particularly familiar with the transformational effort and glorious regime of our late leader, the former governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu SAN-CON. Chief Femi Falana SAN was a close ally to the late governor, who shared a strong bond as a friend and a professional colleague, having tremendously explored together the instrumentality of law to affect the development of Nigeria, especially in the areas of advocacy for good governance, defense of the common man, accountability and openness, democracy and the rule of law. On the other hand, Bashorun Sendi Arugufa can rightly be described as one of the founding fathers of Ondo State. As an elder statesman, he has seen it all. That the duo has enriched our knowledge today, experience, inspiration, and vision at the end of the lecture. I therefore express our profound appreciation to both of them for acceding to our invitation to be part of this august ceremony as chairman and guest speaker respectively. KBC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you, all our leaders, all government functionaries, women, youth, every category of persons that are here today. I want to thank all of you for turning out in your large numbers to dignify this occasion. Even as we continue to crave your continued support, cooperation, and loyalty to our administration. Once again, thank you, compliment of the season, and as you look forward to a prosperous new year, I wish you same prosperous new year to every one of us. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. A round of applause for His Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great Nigerian students. Articulate Nigerian students. Great Gogo. Great Gbagba. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a quick announcement before we take the next item, which is the, to move the vote of thanks. I want to announce that we are going to take good photographs in 5 batches, very quickly in 5 batches. The first batch will be Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Speaker, the CJ, the President Customary Court of Appeal, APC Chairman, Chairman of the occasion, our guest speaker, Honorable Adelegbe, Senator Adegbomire, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Ife Abegunde Abena, the Chief of Staff and the Head of Service. That will be the first batch. Very quickly, we'll take the photograph here. Okay, here.
Okay, we take the photograph up here. And the second batch will be Mr. Governor, the Deputy Governor, APC leaders, State Working Committee members. That will be the second batch, very quickly. And the third batch will be Mr. Governor, Mr. Deputy Governor, House of Assembly members. And the fourth batch will be Mr. Governor, Deputy Governor, our Lord, my Lord Justices. And the fifth batch, which is the last batch, will be Mr. Governor, Deputy Governor, and members of the State Executive Council. Please. At this juncture, may I invite Dr. Wumi Ilawole, Special Advisor.
Your Excellency, Mr. Governor, Excellency, Mr. Deputy Governor, my assignment here is to give a vote of thanks to thank everyone for coming to this occasion, which is in honor of our late Governor, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SANCON. We want to thank the guest speaker, most especially, for giving us an insight into physical security, economic security, and even social security. We thank you very much for this lecture, and we wish you safe journey back to your destination. Mr. Chairman, sir, of this occasion, Basharo Sayinde Arogbofa, thank you very much, sir. Eshe Pupo. I would like to use, for want of time, I don't want to waste our time, I would like to use Senator Adebomire as a point of contact to thank all members of the National Assembly that are here today. Thank you very much. Members of the legislature, using the representative of the Speaker as a point of contact to say thank you to you all for attending this occasion. And I would like to use the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice as a point of contact to say thank you to all members of the State Executive Council. Our party chairman, as a part of contact to all party members that are here, and Alaji, our father, Ekungba, as a point of contact to all elders of the party that are here today to honor our late governor. I would like to use Kabiesi Araleko of Isikon as a point of contact to all traditional rulers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming to this occasion and honoring our leader and our former governor, late Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Thank you all, and we wish you safe journey back to your various destinations. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, ma. We appreciate you. Please, we have few more minutes to the end of this program. Please, let's settle down. We want to move to the photo session now, and I would like to bring to the podium His Excellencies. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we close this program in the name of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. If the Lord tarry next year, we'll be together to have the second series. Please, let's rise up as we take the anthems, please. The anthems, please.
And we have come to the end of the Akeredolu Leadership Lecture Series, the maiden edition. I call it maiden because many dignitaries at the program today have requested that this program be made a regular feature in Ondo State. Yes, the man Akete was a fearless and courageous man who was a politician and a lawyer of repute. Many, many people, many dignitaries in this ground today have requested, honestly, that this is institutionalized in Ondo State. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti saying thank you very much for being a part of the event. Bye-bye for now.